Hello everyone. I'm gonna use my mic. 1 second.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Racing Joker video. My name's Tom, and I'm your host for today, as always. So, hello everyone, and welcome to my bedroom, I guess, or my desk, or my computer, or my microphone setup. Doesn't really matter. Today I'm going to be talking to you about random stuff. Specifically, car modifications, even more specifically, wings. I recently ordered a wing from Sabin something carbon, and it is an STI style wing. So for those of you who don't know, I really wanted to get an STI style wing for my car. Originally I wanted to do a trunk swap, but that later turned out not to be an option because I ran out of time to find an STI that had the same color and all that sort of blah 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 stuff. But after a while I thought, maybe it doesn't need it. But after looking at the car and getting used to it, I go, the front of the car is really aggressive, but the back is kind of soft. So I need to fix that somehow. So I decided to get a wing. And because I wanted it to make sense on the car, I wanted to get an STI style wing. Because it's OEM, it makes sense, it flows better, all that good stuff. And so I do some research and I discover that it is possible to get the OEM wing, like the OEM parts and all the stuff you need to install it. So I think, great, let's go to a dealer, order the parts, have them be paint matched somehow, and have them provide the labor to install it. All of those things make perfect sense to me and seem within the realms of possibility because the original dealer had said, we can do an STI trunk swap with one of the STIs we have on our lot if we have one that isn't, like certified pre-owned. So I think this should be fine. Just gotta make a few calls, it'll be done. And getting the OEM part is a lot cheaper than what I ended up having to do. So that's why I went for that first, is the OEM stuff, because it's like $100 or so cheaper. But moving on from that, and so fast forward to when I finally make the call. I get directed to the parts department, and this nice and relatively knowledgeable guy, seemingly, picks up the phone, and I tell him what I want to do. I want a wing, I want it to be paint matched, and I need it to be installed. So if you can provide all of those things, that would be great. And he says, yes, we can do that. We can order the parts ourselves, or you can order the wing and bring it in. We can have it paint matched by the shop across the street, and we can provide the labor to install it. And so I think, great, that makes sense. And so I tell him I just need to talk to a few people, namely my parents, to let them know I'm going to be making this purchase so that when they look at my purchase history, they don't call me and go, the fuck you doing? And we should be good. And so I tell him that, and he says, sure, fine, just call back whenever you can. And I call back the following day, and a different person answers the phone. That didn't worry me. I figured it wouldn't make a difference, but it did. So this new person on the phone, I ask her, or I tell her that I had called blah, blah, blah yesterday, and he said that this was possible. At first, she gets confused and thinks I'm trying to get like an accessory for the car, like the WRX spoiler, not the STI wing. And so that's a little confusing at first. I send her a link to all the parts from the parts.subaru.com website that I think I'm supposed to have in order to securely and safely install the wing on my car. She still is confused. And then eventually we get to the point where she's saying things like, we're not sure, like I can't guarantee it will fit on your car. I'm still salty about this. Let me just repeat that in case you guys can't appreciate how weird that is. She told me that she isn't sure that a WRX STI wing will fit on a WRX of the same body style, the same year, the same practically everything, to the point where you could do a trunk swap with an STI and a WRX and it would still work perfectly fine. In Japan, if you were to buy a WRX, it is actually a default option to have an STI style wing on the car. It's fascinating, isn't it? So why would they be so unsure? That will be a mystery that will probably be left unanswered for the rest of my life. I will probably die wondering why I was told that. But it wasn't just her. Her boss comes along. And so she consults him, which makes sense. maybe he knows better. Maybe he knows that the guy yesterday knew what he was talking about. And so she'll talk to him and blah, blah, blah. It'll be resolved. I'll have the parts ordered. They'll provide everything that I need. And that'll be that. Instead, the boss is not only uncertain, he's also certain he's not willing to risk it. He basically ends with him saying, we're not even going to be willing to touch the car. The only thing we're going to do for you is order it. Order the parts. That's the only thing we'd be willing to do for you. And so I go, well, what do I do? Because you guys can't do what I need you to do. So they direct me to a different body shop, an Abra Auto Body. They said that it can paint the part and maybe install it. And so I go to them and they go, well, we can paint it, but we can't provide the labor to install it. And I go, okay, I still need someone who can. So can you direct me to something? And so they direct me to a shop called Noel Automotive. That can do basically everything I need. That's great. That was actually really cool because I couldn't find a shop that could do custom stuff like that. So being directed to that was really, really helpful. So I get directed to them. I call them, and I come in the following day. I get an estimate for painting the part and installing it, and all is good and well. You know, the owner was really nice. The employees were nice. The shop was actually really cool. There was a custom Eleanor, I think 1965 or 1967 Mustang in there, and it looked really cool. So they do cool work. So I feel like my car's in pretty good hands. It's only a spoiler install, so it's also not that big of a thing. But anyways, I call them, I get a quote. Everything is going smoothly. I write an email to the sales department of the parts.subaru.com website thingy, and I ask them, do I have all the parts I need to install this WRX STI wing on my WRX? I make certain that is what I am doing, that I am putting an STI wing on my WRX. Because, you know, I want the wing to be able to be installed securely and safely, because I don't know what differences there are between the trunk of the STI and the WRX, so I just want to make sure, like, if I have all the parts, the bolts, the secure stuff. And they write back not answering that question at all. It was a yes or no question, truth be told. Do I have everything I need? Yes or no? They answered with, we do not recommend you installing parts from other cars onto your car. And I go, okay, I am done with Subaru. You people are useless. My screen just dimmed. And I am going to get an aftermarket part. I didn't care how expensive it was at that point. I was done. I needed something that I could be certain would work. So I go to Sabin Carbon, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm getting salty. So anyways, I go to Sabin Carbon and I call them for stock availability, because that's what it says on the website. Call for availability. And so they say it's on back order, the wing that I want to get. And so I go, okay, well, I want to get the part, so I don't have much of a choice. So what's the back order? And they say, well, they're order made, and you would already be joining a line, and the wait is about 10 to 13 weeks. I'm probably going to get the part in January of next year, of 2018. I'm in October 5th of 2017. 13 weeks. That's a long wait. Even if it arrives before that, I won't be able to get it until I get back from my winter break, whatever that's going to be. So that's a while, but at least it'll be like a Christmas present. So Subaru didn't know what they were doing. The part's on back order, which is more acceptable than any of the other things I've come across in this adventure. So I go to subispeed.com, a website I've mentioned before, and I order it from there. But before I do that, I ask a very simple question. Can this spoiler be securely installed on my WRX? I don't know why it couldn't be, but at this point, I'm paranoid as fuck. And I'm not spending over $700 on a part that's going to fly off my car. So I ask the salespeople at subispeed.com, will everything I need be provided to install this on my car safely and securely? And they go, yes. And you will also be provided with diagrams for measurements to install it in the right place on the right car, and all these sorts of delicious things. They answered questions that I hadn't even asked yet. It was awesome. I felt confident, so I ordered the part, and now it's going to be arriving probably in January. And so after winter break, you guys get to look forward to me installing the part. But yeah, that was my first experience in ordering parts. So yeah, that was fun. That was interesting. And I'm also not going to paint the spoiler, by the way. Just to let you guys know. But I will tell you what I am going to do with it. So in the previous video, actually, I talked about the wrap design I want to do with the car. So for those of you who don't know, I want to wrap it purple and then put like Joker themed stuff on the car. Okay? So that makes sense. Given the name of the channel and all that sort of stuff. So you guys shouldn't be all that surprised. And I briefly talked about what I want to do with the spoiler wrap related. So because I'm not painting the spoiler, that means I save a couple $100. But I'm still going to be wrapping it purple. And I'm going to like make the side flaps things, I don't know the term, like green along with the rest of the other green decals. But I'm going to have cutouts on the sides. And originally I had said I wanted to have like a jester symbol and a J on one side and the other. But Harley came to me after watching that video and made a suggestion that I thought was really clever. So on the left side, the driver's side, there would be a J. And on the right side, the passenger side, there would be an H. And I really like that because that's like symbolic. That's great. That makes sense. The Joker's the rider. I'm not going to go there. Anyways, other things to look forward to is I'm getting used to the power of the car. So I've been launching it more with traction control off, so in track mode, and other cool stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. I'm getting addicted to making the exhaust crackle when I rev it or downshift and rev match, and it's fun. That's going to be even more fun when I swap out the headers and all of the other exhaust components during the summer. And then sometime next school year, I'm probably going to get like a bunch of stuff on it, like an intercooler, an intake, and a tune, and all sorts of other things, a blow-off valve. But then probably by the summer of 2019, I'm probably going to put a turbo kit on it. I'm probably going to jump the gun and fast forward to 400 horsepower because I feel like this car needs it. I'm not going to go more than 400 horsepower because then that would require building the engine or the motor or whichever. But I think that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, you guys get to look forward to this car becoming ridiculous. It's definitely going to look ridiculous by the end of the summer. So you guys have that to look forward to. So if you want to subscribe to the channel and wait for me to get my wing in January, by all means. If you want to wait for the summer to see my car get wrapped in probably one of the most ridiculous ways you will ever see, subscribe for that too. But yeah, if you enjoyed listening to me rant about the weirdness of Subaru and getting OEM parts unsuccessfully, like the video and comment about how stupid it was or how stupid I was for thinking it was possible. Just comment, react, respond, like, dislike. You have the freedom to decide. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tom, the Racing Joker, signing out of YouTube. Until next time, peace.